Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to video review for The Power, episodes 1 through 5. So, as always, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the furry. To start with the furry, there isn't any. Moving on to the good and the bad. So, I already reviewed episode 1, link for that in the description, but I wanted to talk about 1 through 5. And what I will say, spoiler free, is that overall, I still want to see where this show goes. I think there's 8 or 9 episodes planned, and I still want to see where it goes. It's keeping me interested enough to continue on, but it still annoys me a lot of times where they just really, really push that, like, guys are bad and women are powerless. And I don't subscribe to that belief system. So I'm going to start getting into more spoiler things. So, overall, I still think, so far, I would say to give it a watch, but it's just going to grind your gears a little bit sometimes. But I think that the subject matter and the, exploring how this would affect a society and the different aspects that they are looking at that lens through is interesting enough to give it a watch. I don't know how the ending will be, but we'll see. Getting into spoiler territory. So, for example, one of the things that they did, and it was towards the end of the 5th episode, was, the girl was talking to her mom, and she's like, blah, 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 I don't have to worry about blah, 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 and I don't have to, walk to my car with my keys in my hands in case somebody jumps out at me anymore. This is so, I feel the power. And I'm like, that's not a female-specific thing. That's an anybody who lives in a place where they can't have firearms or knives or fucking, I don't know, sledgehammers or something, and where they are not the most hulking and scary, impressive specimen of a person. I don't think Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano are, walking to their cars with their keys in their hand looking all scared. But I bet you Pee Wee Herman is. You know what I mean? The Rock is not walking to his car scared, but, maybe, the guy from the Hunger Games, the friend who's 5 feet tall or something, it's not a chick-specific thing to be like, hey, in this possibly dangerous environment, I wish I had some way to protect myself. And that's what kind of bugs me about a lot of this, is that they are taking such a guys are terrible people. And it's both sides can be terrible people. It's a people problem, not a guy versus girl problem. And, it's great that they now have this inbuilt power, which, you just kind of have to pretend that MRIs and medical people and, all manner of scans somehow didn't detect this in the collarbones of literally everyone on the planet for, ever, and nobody ever got electrocuted slightly to get this power. If you just kind of accept that conceit, which you kind of have to in order for the thing to take place, if you accept that, so there's that happening, but people are assholes to everyone. It happens, and so it's nice that they have the built-in power to, self-defense. But if you just allowed firearms everywhere, if there was not a gun-free zone, you would have the same overall effect, is that guys wouldn't be able to do this to girls. Generally powerful, physically powerful people wouldn't be able to do this to physically weaker people because the gun is the great equalizer. So, really, this TV show is kind of unintentionally advertising that guns save lives and will equalize a playing field, because that's essentially what this power is the power to have a gun on you at all times. Write your local congressperson or whatever. But, yeah. So, the other thing about this show is that I still feel like there's not enough use of the power that they have. It wasn't until 48-ish minutes into the 4th episode that somebody finally does the, Bsha! Thing where they shoot out lightning, actually shoot it out and do some damage, some serious damage, mess somebody up. 48 minutes into episode 4. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4 for that to finally happen, to have like one person having the effect on somebody, and how this was advertised to me, or at least the what I got from the trailer when I first watched this, was I was expecting more like, I don't know if you remember Mutant X, but like that, like I was expecting more of that more regularly. I do appreciate that this show is looking at more of the like, hey, how would this impact society? How would different governments do different things in relation to this? And yeah, so that I think is interesting with how they're doing it. I think they've made overall good choices with who to follow, and we're getting a bit more on why we are following them. I still think there's a couple of characters where I'm like, okay, but why you like? There must be something that develops with you, or that we get some explanation for you later on. But they have, I think, done a sufficient job of explaining within the story. Not like, and this is why we are following this person. Like, it's not verbalized, but you get to see that, okay, so this person is being able to show us this aspect of society. This person's being able to show us this aspect of this society. So that's an interesting thing. I can see why this would have been popular enough for a book, or this book would have been popular enough to get made into a show like this. I still think, so far, if they crunched it down to like maybe 4 episodes as opposed to the 8, it might be a tighter story, because it does drag a little bit at times, where I'm just like, okay, yes, we have established this, we get this. Let's watch this clip of this chick getting her face burned for like the 5th, 6th, 7th time. Like, we get it. People are watching it. You're watching it. Fantastic. Let's go to the next thing. So yeah, that's what I have with this. I have mixed feelings about this. So we'll see how the ending goes. But there are still some things that I heavily don't agree with. But overall, generally people being shitty at all levels of all governments and societies, and as well as having good people at various levels, I think is accurate. But this is a bit more depressing of a show, because it's focusing a bit more on the shitty people doing shitty things than I was hoping for, which, that's on me. I could have maybe looked at the trailer a bit closer to get the feel of the show that they were going for. I was hoping for something a bit more uplifting, and it's a bit more just depressing about showing us all the shitty things that can happen with people and societies and whatnot. So maybe the end will be uplifting, but we're 5 episodes into an 8 or 9 episode show, and I'm not feeling the uplift yet, so we will see how it goes. But that's all I have for this one so far. Let me know if it's pissing you off, or if you're liking it, or whatever your thoughts are on it in the comments down below. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you at the next one. Bye.